It's GSR here. So, who is the best cameo fighter for Mileena? The previous video that I made about this was Scorpion, but I'm mainly talking about in this video is competitively. If I had to pick, it actually would be Goro. It wouldn't be any other character but Goro because he can complement her in the neutral in a sense. He can complement her mix-up potential. He can make certain things that are normally unsafe safe. He can complement her with her combos. Maybe not as well as Scorpion, where she can combo beyond the norm, but it's good enough to where she's still getting really solid damage on the opponent. And then he has two other special moves, such as like this. I believe it's an unblockable like Shokan Stomp or something like that. And then he has like this punch walk shit that creates a lot of space and does pretty decent chip. And it can be a pretty good combo ender for Mileena, right? And I think he can I think he makes Mileena safe on block as well. So it's a good way to chip out the opponent as well. However, like when it comes to Scorpion, Scorpion makes Mileena unsafe on block. His Hellblades is 30 frames on startup. It is an overhead. If you do physically hit the opponent, however, it after Scorpion successfully hits the opponent with his Hellblades, it will lead into an automatic pop-up. But not only that, like if you pop the opponent up into the air for a combo and then you go for like a normal into Scorpion's Hellblades, it'll extend the combo where it's a pop-up. Like it'll rebounce the opponent back up into the air. Now, if you condition the opponent long enough, however, with like Mileena's lows and getting them to think about the stagger into other combo strings or the stagger into the throw and shit like that, you more than likely could slip in Scorpion's overhead and make it difficult for them to figure out what you're trying to do when they're blocking on the opposing side, right? When it comes to your offense, of course. So Scorpion has this get over here move where it's more defensive than it is offensive. So I definitely think like his move is useful for a character like Rain or maybe Shang Tsung. I don't know if Shang Tsung is necessarily a zoner. I would assume he is in this game, but I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that because I haven't really looked at his moveset. But for Rain, I do believe, yeah, he is a keep away character in a sense, I think. So Scorpion can complement Rain, I believe, in a sense where Rain's dealing with a character that has really good pressure, and their goal is to get in, pressure, do all that extra shit. Basically, they're a rushdown character. Rain's more of like a zoner, because he is one, where he controls space and stuff, right? So Rain's getting pressured to death, and he's just like, yo, Scorpion, get me up out of here, bruh. I'm not trying to deal with this, my nigga. And boom, Scorpion gets him up out of there. I think you have a hit of armor, too, especially from what I've seen in the trailer. So Scorpion's good for, like, assisting characters with combos, and he's really good at that actually, and he's really good at, you know, assisting characters that don't really do very well in close range engagements where like that's not where they're meant to be, and he can kind of reset the neutral to where the opponent's going to have to make a decision, which you can kind of create a mind game off of that, I believe. What else is there? And then on top of that, he could possibly complement your mix-up potential. Like if your character has like a bunch of lows, like Mileena does. Mileena's like forward 1-4-4. The last hit's a low. Her 4-2-4 is a low. So you can kind of substitute the low for the overhead. And if they fuck up, you could more than likely go for Scorpion's move. However, you would have to be confident though that you successfully hit the opponent with the low. And you would more than likely have to preemptively throw out Scorpion because Scorpion comes out slightly slow to a certain degree. Goro comes out almost immediately. There's a difference there. So the timing for both of them are very different. But Goro has more stuff to him that can complement Mileena competitively, though. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, pick your poison. If I'm playing competitively, I'm going to be using Goro. Like I'm definitely going to be using Goro. Now, as far as Motaro goes, right? Because I'm going to show some examples here, but as far as Motaro goes, I do believe like if you are going against a zoner and you're really trying to stay in and you're not trying to deal with that full screen zoning or space controlling or quote unquote space controlling is what they call it when it comes to a zoner. I think Motaro is a good pick to a certain degree because he amplifies Mileena's neutral game where, you know what? What the fuck am I doing? I'm over here tripping. So Mileena is blocking, right? If I do a ball roll, you see what I'm talking about here? Now, of course, there's going to be some experimenting that needs to be done to see if you can get punished. So, as a matter of fact, I'll show you guys just a little bit. So, say for example, I go for Mileena's ball roll, and the opponent is ready to punish me, right? So they dash forwards, and then they try to go to a combo string. They whiff, and because Mileena doesn't really have good range on her normal, her down three has decent range, like it's not bad. But what ends up happening here is like now they're kind of stuck into this mind game because they don't necessarily know when Mileena is going to do this, right? Now, you can definitely get a punish, right? If you read that she's going to do a teleport. Now, the big word of the day when it comes to Motaro and Mileena is if she's going to do this, or the player that's using Mileena is going to do this, right? That's a big if, right? You don't know when she's going to do this. So she could literally do this and then literally just be free to move. And you more than likely would possibly have to kind of like react to it. But like the fear of knowing that she could possibly teleport or have Motaro teleport her on the other side at any moment and you whiff, that's going to become a problem for you, right? So if the player can create a really good mind game off of that, it's really good. Now, the reason why I said Motaro is pretty good for Mileena when it comes to zoners, I personally believe, is because, you know, Mileena has creative ways of getting in. Now, the zoner has to keep in mind in the neutral that Mileena has access to this teleport, and if she meter burns it, that's another thing. I can do this, right? But they have to deal with the fact that like she could teleport with this move and then close the distance, and now she's in. So they definitely don't want that. She has this ball roll that reaches literally 90% of the screen, or literally 99% of the screen. So it's like literally you could get hit and then put into a meterless combo, right? So the zoner is going to have to play cautious here, right? So this sets up what? And this allows Mileena to basically close the distance almost for free to a certain degree, right? And I said almost for free because there might be certain ways that, you know, that the opponent can kind of deal with this particular situation. Then on top of that, she has like the ability to call out, you know, Motaro, and then Motaro can actually go for like this low that can leave her significantly plus on block. So her 1-2 is her bread and butter, I believe. It's a high, of course, you know, but it's 7 frames, which is her fastest normal and her fastest punisher just in general. +1 on block, which is really good. It's a good stagger. It leads into this overhead, which actually can complement her low, but you can substitute the low for this, and she will be +5 on block. Now, granted, if the opponent ends up getting hit with the low, it does 4%. So the opponent more than likely would rather take the hit rather than the plus frames and the potential chip damage and the potential of potentially getting opened up, right? So, what does this mean exactly? This means that if they let go of block and you are realizing like every single time you go for that low, they keep letting go of block. Kind of like what some opponents did to me back in Mortal Kombat 11 when I would go for Johnny Cage's 1-2-4 in the corner or mid screen. They would let go of block, they would take 9% damage, and then they would be knocked almost full screen. And they do that for a reason because in a sense it resets neutral and it allows them to move freely where they don't necessarily have to deal with the mind game of what is this nigga going to do since he's plus on block, right? So that's kind of like the same situation here going on for Mileena. However, the issue that the opponent's going to face is that if I'm fully aware and I've adapted to what you are doing and I understand this, which clearly, as you guys already know, I do, and I realize that you just did that, right? Guess what could potentially happen to you? I'm going to commit into the full string and then you're going to get fucking comboed for it. And then this is going to force you to block because you don't know when I'm going to commit into the full string now, right? So then all of a sudden, now you're back into the mix. And then on top of that, like, even if they let go of block here, like, they still have to deal with the fact that I can throw them. You understand what I'm saying? So there's that. Now, as far as Motaro complimenting Mileena's lows, right? And just combos just in general, I don't think he does a very good job at doing that, right? So that's a big con, is that he's not really good at like complimenting Mileena when it comes to her combos. That's where the unfortunate part comes into play. However, the thing that's very valuable and useful when it comes to Motaro is him complimenting her in the new shit, right? And then he can compliment her, man, Motaro, he just looks amazing, bro. Man, fucking childhood, bro. Look at this fucker. Damn, they did a great job with him. But anyway, man, our team really went in on this shit, bro. This game looks beautiful. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm fucking losing my shit. So, like I said, combo-wise, it's not going to happen. However, you would have to substitute, going for like overhead low mix-ups and stuff like that, where you can do that with like Scorpion in a sense, which I'm going to talk about Scorpion shortly here, even though I kind of did. I'm just going to show you guys. But you can stagger and go into different strings, and you can stagger and then, go for like throws in a sense. You understand what I'm saying? And what ends up happening here is that you're creating you're substituting like the overhead low shit, like committing into the low, and you're substituting that for, because you can cancel off the third hit. So you're substituting that for, a strike throw game. Like now your character's playing MK1 technically. So if you can wrap your head around that a little bit, where you kind of change up how you approach with your offense, where you're like, okay, well, my character's a strike throw character. Now it becomes, more apparent to you, like, what you should be doing when you're using Motaro in a sense. But like if you're using a character like Scorpion where he has an overhead, like you have best of both worlds. Like you can do a strike throw, you can go for an overhead low, and then Scorpion can complement her with her mix-ups. But I'm going to talk about Scorpion some more by showing some examples. But the reason why I say, Motaro could be good for against zoners is because like this move is extremely useful, right? And I don't think I need to explain any further why that is. Now, granted, you can hold it, and you can kind of like close the distance, and now the zoner has to make a decision here. What they're going to do, like throw out a ranged normal, and if you know it's coming, then they end up getting comboed for it. As far as pressure goes, say for example you get a knockdown, you can set this up, right? It'll come out. I don't know why the fuck this happened. I hate what the fuck going on here? So as you can clearly see, like now the zoner has to take all this chip damage and potentially getting opened up. You understand what I'm saying? Like they gotta deal with that shit. And then on top of that, here's another thing, right? If it's set up in the corner where the zoner can't go nowhere and you do it on knockdown, this is extremely powerful in knockdown. You do this shit on knockdown, right? Like you can mix them, right? So say for example, I'm just going off the top of the dome with this shit real quick. Say for example, you call out Motaro, and I don't know why I'm pressing down, and what the fuck is going on here? All right, see that? So they have to deal with that shit right there, right? Then on top of that, right? Say for example, I grab you. However, like that's kind of like where the problem comes in at, is like you grabbing the opponent. That's kind of the problem a little bit. But like if you're mainly focusing on like this string here, like this 1-2. I mean, granted, you could go for like the standing 3 to kind of change things up, but the 1-2, because the last hit is an overhead that will knock down. You can go for like technically a safe mix-up and then get a combo that way. And there's some more stuff with it too, but that's that with that situation. Now, as far as like this teleport goes when it comes to the knockdown game, you more than likely would have to preemptively call this move out if you know for a fact and you're confident that the opponent's going to go for an armored move such as a fatal blow, which Mileena doesn't have a true armored move except for her fatal blow. So yeah, I mean, there's that. You know what I'm saying? So like Motaro, I think he could be very beneficial for Mileena to a certain degree when it comes to a character like Rain, where he doesn't necessarily want to be close to you, and he wants to stay away from you. You know what I'm saying? You can make it difficult for the opponent that's using a keep away character. If you play your cards right, of course, right? But we're gonna go with Scorpion, and then we're gonna focus on Goro, right? And then that's gonna be it. All right, so Scorpion has an overhead that's 30 frames of startup, like I was talking about earlier on in this video, but it leaves her significantly minus on block. Even if I was to do something like this, as you can clearly see, she's still minus 19 on block. So they guessed correctly, this is going to be a problem. Plus, the startup time is on the slow side, so it's almost guaranteed that you can interrupt this. Now, Scorpion, you know, like I'll show you, because you guys have seen it in my combo videos. Like, that situation there leads into a pop-up, right? As you can clearly see, right? Now, if she was to do, I'm wondering if that's gonna work. Yeah, as you can clearly see, and then Scorpion can rebounce the opponent back up into the air, right? So that's actually pretty good. And then on top of that, this could be used as a mix-up option. However, you more than likely, right? You more than likely would actually have to take it upon yourself, right, to condition the opponent long enough, right, with your lows in order for Scorpion's overhead to work. Now, here's the thing. There's a different timing with Scorpion's Hellfire Blades, or not Hellfire Blades, but his Hellfire Blast or whatever, right? Here's the thing. You would have to preemptively call this out, and you would have to be confident that you're going to hit the opponent with the low, right? And that's what's important, right? Because as you can see, you can tell the difference here, because you can see like the flame behind him. See that flame on the ground? You can kind of tell the difference. So like, if I do it like this, right? So I'll have her stance block, right? Scorpion's gonna come out too late. So what happens is, you would have to more than likely preemptively do it, like literally in the beginning, and then follow up with something, right? Now there's ways of opening up the opponent, such as staggering and then going for a throw, or you can punish the opponent, and then all of a sudden, you know, you can go into whatever combo that you want, right? So you kind of see what's going on here with Scorpion. Now, he has like this move where it's like a retreating move, basically, which we've seen in the trailer. And I think it has a hit of armor, I believe. But I think this move is just really useful for resetting the neutral and creating breathing room for your character that doesn't excel in close range engagements. Of course, you could probably use this with pressure characters or characters like Mileena in a sense, but I don't think Scorpion is the correct fit for Mileena competitively. That's just my opinion on that. Other people may feel differently, and that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion, just like I got my own. But this is Scorpion in a nutshell, basically. He can assist her with her mix-ups to a certain degree, but it's going to come at a cost, as you can clearly see here. Minus 19, right? So you can pick your poison on that, right? But he could definitely, and he is the best character in the game when it comes to Mileena's combos, and being able to allow Mileena to extend her combos beyond the norm. Now, we're going to focus on Goro, and then that's going to be it. I'm going to talk about a few things with Goro, because it's very important that you guys understand. Goro is the best cameo fighter for her so far. And I'm talking about competitively, right? So, Mileena standing one can lead into a mix-up, right? That the opponent would have to block. Now, if the opponent was to crouch block, right? I'll show you guys. Let's see here. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys this first. Goro's back R1, or I guess it's called the Shokan toss or something like that. And you can clearly see it's literally acting as a mid, right? So why is this important? This is important because of what I'm about to show you here, right? If I stagger and then, bitch, if I stagger and then go into a throw, what is your natural response? You're going to neutral deck. You think you're going to get a punish, and then I go for Goro, and then all of a sudden you fuck around and you find out. Now, Goro's throw is a side switcher, right? But Mileena's side switching capabilities are top notch. They're actually really good. Like her ability to side switch you is actually really, really good, right? So she has a 4-2-4 here, right? Which is a high-low. Like I did with Scorpion in a sense, right? So you could substitute. So I'll actually, where is it? Okay. So I'll substitute the low, right? Actually, it'd be better if I just record this because yeah, that's not gonna work out. That's not gonna work. So I'll just substitute it. So you think I'm gonna go for the low, you block low, and you end up getting meteorously tossed into the air, right? Now, as you can clearly see, it does 6%, but if you get knocked down, it does 10%, right? So you can kind of use it as like a knockdown to close the distance on the opponent in a sense. And the opponent's gonna have to worry about that, right? Now, they're also gonna have to worry about that situation right there, right? See that? And now they have to worry about that shit. So, we got that shit out the way. Now, Goro can complement her when it comes to that particular situation. Now, she has the 4-3-4, and it's not really much of a mix-up there, but you can kind of like, if they're standing up a lot, you can kind of check them, which is going to force them to block low, and then you'll catch them off guard with that situation right there, right? Now, when it comes to comboing with her 1-2, you can go into it. You can't go into it off of this, right? But off of her main bread and butter, which I believe is her 1-2, you can actually go for Goro's throw here, right? And then off of her forward 1-4-4, you can actually do it off of that too. So you still have really good options off of two main powerful combo strings she has access to, right? You can also do this in the middle of a combo, so and then yeah, and then that was an easy 40% for 1 bar and a cameo assist. So that is going. The opponent's going to look at that and be like, okay, yeah, I don't fucking like that shit. That actually hurt. So you see what's going on here, right? With that command grab. So that command grab is good for extending combos. It's good for mix-ups, especially mix-ups. It's good for starting up combos, and you get the idea. So now we're gonna go to the main move that makes Goro a pretty solid assist character, and then he still has that move, and he has the punch walk move, which is it gives him 12% damage, right? Now, I don't know if you guys know, but the damage on throws are different per character, and what I mean by that is like per cameo character. Some characters do 13%, some characters do 12%, some characters do 11%. That's just something that I wanted to throw out there real quick for you guys. But anyway, so Goro's raise the roof little uppercut move thing or whatever, it can be used as like an anti-air to a certain degree, and the cool part is that she can freely move while he's doing this, right? So I'm gonna show you guys some shit real quick, right? I showed you with Motaro, right? But I can make something that is minus like this, and I can make it 6, right? If you time it. As you can clearly see, I can make it -2. You could technically make this situation plus if you time it correctly and you do it correctly, which this is going to put fear into the opponent to press a button. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to record Mileena on the opposing side, right? And you're going to notice what I was talking about. So also he has like that unblockable thing, which I'll probably talk about shortly here. So let's see here. So -5. As you can clearly see, right? As a matter of fact, so you guys know for a fact I'm pressing my buttons and you guys don't think I'm capping. As you can clearly see, this nigga is literally preventing her from attacking. See that? Now, if you crouch block, you can do that, right? Now, you can potentially create a jailing situation if you time that correctly, which I've done before. I just have to figure out the timing of it again. So let me see if I can get it. That might have been it right there. Nope. I think is it the close or the mid version? No. See, and now she's +1 on block. So let me see if I can get it. Yeah, okay. I'll have to test that out, and I'll probably show it in another video. I forgot the timing of that because I was experimenting with this when I was doing combos with her, and I was like, yo, I think Goro is like the best assist character for her. But anyway, you guys kind of see like what's going on here, right? Like if I do something like this, right? They got to worry about that, and then Goro gives her pretty good hit advantage as well, right? And like I'm safe enough to where I could possibly go for an Abari attempt, or I could disrespect what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he can compliment her in the neutral in this sense, right? So it's good for that. Now, off of this low, right? If I go for this low, Goro comes out immediately to where like I don't have to preemptively do this, right? I don't have to preemptively call out Goro in order to make sure that that's successfully hit. I can call him out immediately. Now, obviously, as you can clearly see here, I'm not calling him out as soon as I did with Scorpion. Like, I had to call Scorpion out almost immediately, right? But with Goro, this is dramatically different. He comes out immediately. So like, I'll show you. See how like he comes out? I can call him out just as I hit her with the low. As long as you know how to hit confirm and you visually confirm that the opponent got hit, which that takes practice, because it's basically you reacting to it, you could more than likely get this every single time. And then this allows her to get a combo. Now, as far as you going completely bonkers with the combos in a sense, you could probably do more combos in the corner a lot better than mid screen, but don't get it twisted. Goro's definitely going to allow you to, you know, he's definitely going to be able to help you out on shit that you normally wouldn't be able to combo from, right? So if they think that you're going to go for Goro's command grab, they have certain things that they can do to get out of it. However, if you commit into the full string, this ultimately allows you to follow up with an attack of some sort, right? Whatever that may be. However, you can get more damage than that. I'm just trying to show you guys quickly as possible what I'm talking about. Same thing applies with our forward to, see that? And then she can actually go directly into a combo. So this is a very big deal for Mileena, I think. Now, as far as his punch wall goes, this could be a decent combo ender. He does pretty decent chip, and then on top of that, there's some space there, so like, you know, you can probably catch the opponent off guard every now and again. Like I said, it could be a decent combo ender. I haven't really come up with a combo yet for this actually, where it does pretty good damage. I haven't really decided what I was gonna do with that, but well, I just did right there. Yeah, and this creates significant amount of space for Mileena, and you get a high hit advantage of 30 frames, right? You got 31%, and I mean, granted, I did use the jump in. Still gets almost 31%, so that's still really good damage. So, like, yeah, I mean, what more do you want? I mean, then he has like this unblockable thing, where like you could use this in a neutral in a sense because like say for example, like they're afraid, like the person that's trying to throw projectiles and keep you out, they're kind of afraid of like doing it because they don't know how good your reaction time is to that and you predicting and anticipating when they're going to do it. Then all of a sudden they see Goro and they're like, wait, what the fuck is he doing? Like, and then they notice like you try to use him. Now I tried to get a combo from this because there's a brief moment where she's kind of briefly launched, but I don't think it's going to work. I tried to experiment with that, but I wasn't successful. Maybe there is a way. Maybe I fucked up the timing. I'm not sure. But this is the reason why I think Goro is like a better pick for Mileena rather than Scorpion. Goro is just a way better pick because, like I said before, off of standing one, of course they might try to crouch block, but then they're gonna have to deal with that command grab. Granted, as you can clearly see, it doesn't. It's just like Shiva's command grab in Mortal Kombat 11, where like you could stand up and completely avoid it. But the problem with that particular situation is that guess what, my nigga? Like guess who's back? Goro's back, nigga. Like, and he grabbed your ass. So it's like, so like I said, like they're dealing with a constant mix, and this is extremely beneficial for her bread and butter, which is her 1-2, I believe. Um, so yeah, this is just my thoughts on it. I don't know how you guys personally feel about the situation, but I personally think that Goro is the better cameo fighter when you're playing competitively. And I definitely think Goro is that character from Mileena. So if I'm playing competitively, right, I'm picking Goro. Like it's not going to be Scorpion, it's not going to be Motaro, it's strictly going to be Goro. And this is just my opinion. Other people may feel differently about it, but if you really look at this completely, like Mileena's pros and cons, and then you look at how Goro can just complement her, like you'll be like, damn, like okay, this nigga, he know what he's talking about, like you know what I'm saying. But if you're not that experienced, you're probably like, I don't know. I see a lot of pro players use Scorpion, you know, and shit like that. But they use Scorpion because of his ability to allow Mileena to get this crazy, absurd amounts of damage where she can do combos beyond the norm. Like I said in my last video, that was the whole point of that video. But strictly competitively, I'm picking Goro. Like that's automatic. So you could pick either Scorpion or Goro. I mean, the choice is yours. I mean, I think Motaro is a decent pick when it comes to zoners because you can keep pressure going. Because the zoner doesn't want you close to them; they want to stay away from you. You know what I mean? So Motaro, in a sense, he can kind of help Mileena with that to a certain degree. But then again, Goro, he can do that himself. The only thing they didn't give Goro was like his projectile, which is like his Shokan blast or something like that. But other than that, this is just my thoughts on it. You know, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.